What up?
Oh,
What
say
up?
good.
What up? Welcome to the Left Game Season 2, Episode 15. The average man's perspective on football. Also, your favorite show on YouTube.
Get it
See,
together, Helms. Get it
I know.
together.
That's Mark's fault. That's me up. What else we got to go? Before we get started, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, subscribe. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Help us get those likes up. Also, Holly, you know what to do.
Yes, come visit us on Twitter at Delay of Game 3. Sign up. We send out notices. You can live chat with the show on Twitter. It's a whole lot of fun.
All right, so we're ready to review. What was it, Week 14 in the NFL? Had some good games this week. Go ahead and get it started, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, Marcus. We had some really, really good games that we're going to talk about in a few minutes, and a couple games that we're just going to gloss over real fast just to get them out the way. The very first game we're going to talk about was the Thursday night fiasco where the Dallas Cowboys went down to see the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears were victorious in this particular one, 31-24. Maher, the Dallas Cowboys kicker, missed his 10th field goal of the season
And got fired.
and got fired eventually.
About time.
Defense did well, but didn't do well enough. Got 2 turnovers, 2 sacks. Allowed 382 total yards, 4 touchdowns, and a field goal. It was an ugly, ugly, ugly game. I picked the Cowboys. I picked wrong. Next is Mark.
Yeah, this game I took the Cowboys to. The Cowboys started out hot. They drove downfield the first drive. Looked like they were gonna be into it, but it slowly faded by the second half, third quarter. I felt like the Cowboys quit on this game. I really do. The Bears, Trubisky did enough and did what he's supposed to do. He kept running the offense. He did well. I don't know what to say about the Cowboys. The question is Amari Cooper, is he hurting the team or is he helping the team by being injured and not playing well, not playing at 100%? I think that's another question that needs to be answered on here. But I took the Cowboys, and they felt that they did me in, they did me wrong.
Herman.
Yeah, I picked the Cowboys too. Amari Cooper is far as the furthest thing that's hurting this team right now. The biggest thing that's hurting this team right now is the coaching staff and the owner. And a lot of Cowboys fans, we're clamoring for Jason Garrett to be fired, which he is going to be fired. It's not going to be that much of a difference, though, when he does get fired because Jerry Jones is going to continue to be Jerry Jones, and he's going to continue to be a problem. So, Jerry's in the 70s, so the Cowboys probably be good in about another 10 years, 15 years, something like that. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Mr. Helms.
That's dark, I know.
Very, very dark. I picked the Cowboys. On paper, except maybe on defense, the Cowboys are a much better team than the Bears. I agree with you, Herman. At this point, it has to be coaching because I just feel like if you took their key players, because they have good players, they're good enough players to win a Super Bowl, but they're just not a good team right now. Like say if you took Dak and put him on and replaced Mahomes on the Chiefs with him, he'd be doing even better. I think he's like the number 5 quarterback right now. He'd probably be number 1, number 2. You take Zeke, put him on the Ravens in that running game. I mean, they'd be unstoppable. You take Amari, put him on the Saints. He'd be unstoppable. But they got good players. This is not a good team, and you're absolutely right. It's the coaching, and this is definitely Jason Garrett's last year, whether they make the playoffs or not. And there's another name now in for the coaching besides Lincoln Riley, Urban Meyer. Yeah. So
he said he actually wants to coach the Cowboys.
Yeah, he said he wants to go. So it'll be interesting to see who's the coach for the Cowboys next season.
All right, so we're going to move on from that drudgery and talk about
you didn't talk about
it. I did. I talked first. I spoke first. Don't make me talk about it again, okay? All right, so next game we have was to change the thing, Marcus. Change the thing.
Tell me what the next game is. I will.
We had Seahawks visiting the Rams on Sunday night. The Rams came out and showed out, beat the Seahawks 28-12. Russell Wilson was not Russell Wilson-esque. 22 out of 36, 245 yards and a pick. Offense allowed 5 sacks. Golf was golf-like again, 22 of 31, 293 yards, 2 touchdowns. Did throw the 2 picks. And they did get Gurley back in the game. Gurley had a nice game also. Herman, who would you pick on this one?
Yeah, I picked Seattle on this one. I picked wrong. I thought that that being a home that was a road game for Seattle. Wasn't it?
They played in LA.
I just thought Seattle would win that game. I don't believe in Jared Goff. He's put together some pretty good back-to-back games, but I think the key on this one was Gurley. Watching the game, and Gurley was he wasn't superstar Gurley again, but it was you could see those flashes of Gurley, and even though Higbee was their top receiver, Woods was right up there too. I forget how many yards he had, but Woods
98.
98. So yeah, Robert Woods, he played a big factor too. You're looking at that Rams game. It was like they had put together. It was the old Rams again. They had all their mojo back again, like you said. So it's going to be interesting. They're really going to look good this week, I'm sure.
Marcus, who did you?
I picked the Seahawks. I was wrong, of course. Wasn't expecting because the Seahawks, especially Russell Wilson, they've been on point last couple of games. But this was a division game. That's what happens when you play a division opponent. The Rams, like the Rams of last year, the Rams that got to the Super Bowl. Like I said, Todd Gurley got back on point, but he was still 100. He only had 20. He was 23 carries for 79 yards. But they had a bunch of rushers. They had Robert Woods, Josh Reynolds had 29 yards. Robert Woods had 29 yards. Malcolm Brown had 21. Even Jerry Goff had 4. So they managed to put some rushing yards on the Rams, and that's pretty much why they won.
Mark, finish this out.
Yeah, I took Seattle on this one too. I was wrong on it. Rams got back to winning ways. That was for sure. I think that the Rams could definitely take a page from this and move on with basically getting Gurley back into the offense. But Seattle, I don't, they're not quite out of it yet, so they'll be back.
Yeah, 10-3, they're definitely not out of it. We'd like to thank a lot of y'all watching tonight. The chat room is very hilarious going on. Little disputes, little questions about attire, wondering if it's cold in here or not. And a little humor about a fantasy game that we're the third Beatle lost to Herman.
The fifth Beatle.
The fifth Beatle, my apologies. So we're going to keep it moving, though. We're going to talk about this other game that went down that was supposed to be a barn burner. We thought it was going to be one of the better games of the season. The Kansas City Chiefs against the New England Patriots. The Kansas City Chiefs dominated the Patriots, won 23-16. Again, like the Cowboys game, the score doesn't really depict on how bad this game was. The Chiefs were efficient. They weren't phenomenal. But they did what they had to do. They got the yards. But the Patriots were paltry. The only bright spot they had really was Edelman, who was 8 of 95 for 1 touchdown. But that was on 12 targets. Tom had nobody else to throw to in this particular game. It just seemed like they couldn't get the run game going. They couldn't get the pass game going. Extremely frustrating. The defense was putting up a fight, but how much can you expect from them against that high-powered offense? We'll start this one off with Marcus. Who'd you have?
I picked the Patriots because this is Gillette Stadium. It was a home game for them. It's December. This is usually the time they shine. But what did they lost, like 3 in a row, or was it 2 in a row?
3. No, 2.
Yeah, 2
Patriots.
In a row. Yeah,
2.
Yeah. Like I said, you almost want to say it might be the end of the dynasty, but we've been here before. Last season around this time, they lost to the Dolphins and to the Steelers back to back. So, I'm not ready to say it's over yet. I'm not ready to sound the alarm with the Patriots. But I am shocked that Kansas City came in there and won. But good for Kansas City. They needed that win, and I'm happy for Mahomes and Andy Reid. So it is what it is.
Mr. Parker.
Yeah, on this one I took the Chiefs. They was victorious. They had their defense pull them through on this one. Despite Mahomes had an injury to his hand during the game, but it came down to that Breeland play at the end that really helped lock it up for him.
Who did Rashad Breeland? Where did he originally come from?
Redskins, you knew that. It seemed like they leave and do better, huh? And then and they pretty much they jumped out and started out with 20-7 lead on this game. So New England had to fight back, but like I say, the Kansas City defense came to play this particular day, the defense. So I took Kansas City and they were victorious.
In this particular game, I was also with Marcus and on the wrong side of this victory. I picked the Patriots. I thought the Patriots would have put a better show up offensively. You always expect Belichick and Brady to come up with that master plan. But when you think they're down and out, they just light it up and remind you who the Patriots are and why they've won so many championships and divisions since they've been together. But the Chiefs were just a better team. I mean, overall, they just played better, especially like Mark brought up, the defense of the Patriots. I mean, of the Chiefs was just harassing Brady the whole time. What was the other wide receiver? I'm sorry, running back.
For the Patriots?
For who?
Yeah, for the Patriots.
Sonny Michel?
James White. James White was the only other somewhat bright spot, in that offense, but even he did, could only do so much. So the Patriots look bad. It doesn't look good for them. They'll still make the playoffs. They play Cincinnati this week with a win. They're in the playoffs, but I just don't see them going as far as we normally expect them to. Herman, finish this up.
Yeah, I picked the Chiefs too, and the fifth Beatle asked, I guess I don't know if he saw the show last week, but he asked, was it too soon to talk about the downfall of the Patriots? And you guys gave all the reasons why this is the downfall of the Patriots. Okay, the Chiefs were not on their game and went to Foxborough and beat them. You said, James White, he was a little bit of a bright spot for them. He wasn't bright enough because the guy I was playing in fantasy had him playing, and it didn't help him win. But when you look at the score breakdown, the Chiefs had one real hot quarter, and that was the second quarter. They scored 17 points. All right, they scored two field goals, they scored a field goal in the first quarter and a field goal in the third quarter. On the road, they beat the Patriots with that type of offensive output. Mm-hmm. This is why this is the downfall of the Patriots, because the Patriots would not have lost games like this in the past. Brady, 19 for 36, 169 yards.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And I'm not saying it's just Brady as a whole. The Patriots just don't have it this year. It's just not there. They're gonna, if they play wild card weekend, they could go out in the first round. I would not be surprised.
They're still number 2, so they wouldn't play wild card.
Well, that's why I said if they play wild card.
But I mean, shoot.
But who says they're going to finish number 2 or 1? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I picked the Chiefs on this one because you could just feel it. You could really feel it. And had the Chiefs really been on their game, this wouldn't even have been a close game at all, which it really wasn't. The score just kind of makes it look that way.
All right, so we're going to move on to one of the better games of the weekend too. Definitely a game that probably should have been flexed, but that's a whole nother conversation. We're going to talk about the Baltimore Ravens going to see the Buffalo Bills. The Ravens again. What in the world are you doing? The Ravens were victorious in this one, beating the Buffalo Bills 24-17. Actually, it was a very good game. Buffalo defensively played very well. The Ravens offense has just been running ruckshot over everybody, but they kind of slowed it down. Apparently not enough for the victory, but they kind of, did what they had to do to at least keep the game competitive. Jackson ran 11 times for 40 yards in this game, which, he's been running for like 90, 100 yards a game. They allowed 6 sacks in the game. Beasley got his 6th career touchdown in this game. And Allen was decent, 17 of 39 for 146 yards and a touchdown. that 39 is kind of high.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think they should have focused more on the run game. But it was actually a very entertaining game. In this particular game, I did pick the Ravens, which is actually the first game that we've talked about that I picked correctly. Marcus, who did you have?
Did you say this was only Beasley's 6th career touchdown?
In the season. This
I
season.
was like,
Career high.
I like he been playing a long time though.
Yeah, no, it's a season high.
Okay. Well, of course, I picked the Ravens. It was actually a pretty close game. I expected it to be that close because Buffalo's they're proving they're legit this year. But I think Baltimore's defense just overpowered them. What was it, 6 sacks allowed by Buffalo?
Mm-hmm.
That's way too many. And just the Patriots. I mean, the Ravens did what the Ravens do, and I just find it amazing that Lamar Jackson has such low passing stats, and it's like he was only 16 for 25, 145 yards, with 3 touchdowns though. But any other quarterback, you saw that stat, you'd be like, oh, they lost that game. But that's just the way that Lamar is doing it these days. So it seems to be working for the Ravens. So they keep doing what they're doing.
Mark.
Yeah, on this one, I took the Ravens also. One thing that you talked about on how they did it, Marcus, too, was time of possession.
Mm-hmm.
They got drives that ate a lot of the clock up, that helped keep the Buffalo offense off the field. I just think that the funny moment in there was when you see the play sheet go flying out to the field, and the defensive back.
It actually wasn't a play sheet; it was actually just Polaroids.
And one of the players for the Bills picked it up, but before he gave it back to the refs, he took a quick peek at it.
He didn't give it back. The ref came and snatched that
He
sheet.
flipped a couple of pages first, and then he ended up giving it back to him. But if they had that play sheet or whatever it was they was trying to do earlier, they might have had a little success against him. But the Ravens are rolling, drinking that purple Kool-Aid still. I chose the Ravens in this one. They was victorious.
Herman.
Yeah, I picked the Ravens. I mean, I told y'all I would go pick against the Ravens probably again this season when we start picking them, when we pick these games. Lamar Jackson is just embarrassing players out there. It's, and they're replaying it like, look at this, watch this. He broke his ankle. It's like watching a video game almost. But I just want to see him not get hit. That's my only thing is they talk about he likes to lower his shoulder and hit people too. No, he's so fast and so quick. He should never get hit.
Yeah.
So as long as he can keep this up, again, they got to be playing from ahead. But they're usually not that far out of a game anyway with that defense. So they have one of the better defenses in the league that they don't really talk about them that much because they're talking so much about
Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that defense is probably part of the reason why, too, Marcus, you're seeing him with the low passing stats. They're not driving. They're not having to drive the field.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So,
and also, Lamar has a quad injury.
He does.
yeah.
He does.
So
But he said he's playing.
yeah.
Yeah, Thursday night. They wish they had a little more time for him to get healthy, but he is going to play. All right, so we're going to move on to the last game that we picked out, which was probably the best game of the week.
Of the year. You don't think so?
It's one good game.
It was a very good game. I mean, I don't know why there was one I had thought, but it slipped my mind. That was pretty good this year, too. But the 49ers went down to the New Orleans and actually came home with a victory. And what we all thought was going to probably be more of a defensive game turned out to be one of the most high-scoring games that we've had this season. 49ers came out victorious 48-46, went down the field with a field goal to win it, thanks to a 4th down and George Kittle heroic run, also with a face mask attached. Garoppolo, everybody, we were always wondering, can he do it? Is he the man? Well, he was 26 of 35 for 349 yards, 4 touchdowns, and did throw 1 pick. But the crazy part about this game was the 3rd down percentages. The 49ers were 50% on 3rd downs, and the Saints were 45% on 3rd downs. Total yards for the Niners was 516, 465 for the Saints. They had 4 total punts in this game. It was an awesome game. I'm going to let Marcus start this one off.
It was at one point early on in the game. There were more touchdowns than there were incomplete passes. So that tells you it was just an offensive type game. I picked the Saints. I really didn't. I believe in the 49ers this season, but I didn't think they would walk into New Orleans and do that to Drew Brees and Sean Payton. But we've been complaining all year about have the 49ers really beat anybody. Well, they beat somebody this week for sure. They've definitely solidified their place as a top tier team this season, and it's crazy because everybody's talking about Jimmy G is the 49ers' weakness. He had the exact same passing yards as Breeze. Both of them had 349 yards. So that tells you it was nothing but just a offensive show out there, and the 40 people should be. I mean, if you're not really paying attention to 49ers now, you should be paying attention, and I believe they will go far into the playoffs. And this might be a game we see again. Very well could be a game we see again in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Marcus. In this one, I did pick the Saints, so I did pick the last one wrong, so I did a terrible job of picking this game. But hey, it was very, very close. You can't say enough about how well the 49ers played offensively. I mean, what's his name? Monster, the wide receiver. They had a trick play with the wide receiver where he pitched it, he threw it to Monster, who was all by himself. Got a nice, easy touchdown.
Emmanuel Sanders. It was
Emmanuel Sanders. Thank you. And like I said, I mean, can anybody stop Kittle? I mean, can anybody? I mean, that dude is just a straight monster. And that's a dog. You see him out there, and he's willing to do any and everything to get a first down, to get a touchdown, to get whatever that team needs. I mean, he is definitely one of the motivational people on that squad. So you got to give it to him, man. But the Saints played a great game. They had a chance to win it at the very end. It was just that one big play that got them down in field goal range for them to get that victory. Mark, who did you have?
Yeah, I took the Saints in this one. Last show I was talking about the pass protection. I thought was going to be a key. I mean, you didn't need pass protection. You needed defense. You need some secondary out there, some defense back up there to stop somebody. I thought that you guys touched on it. I thought the play calling on both sides was excellent. I mean, they threw out a lot of plays that you just don't commonly see. The one when you had Taysom Hill run it as a fullback in the backfield and he gained the first down. I mean, they were coming out with some incredible play call in this game on both sides. But Jimmy G, he did step up a bit in this one. They put it on the shoulders. He did it. 49ers, they're for real, man. But I took the Saints in this one.
And we got to give a shout out to Kyle Shanahan, man. That dude he's on point.
Where did he used to coach?
He used to coach for the Redskins. And I was about to mention that too. But when he was the Falcons offensive coordinator that year, they went to the Super Bowl, and when he left, they haven't been the same since.
They sure haven't.
So that dude's going to go far, and it's too bad the Redskins didn't see his value and keep him there.
And it's not only that, but the way he plays the game. I mean, the way he calls the game, he has a flow that goes with the game. It's just very smooth, and it's just you see it on the field. You see how well the players respond and how successful they are right now. All right, so we're going to let Herman finish this one off because he was the only one to lone wolf this game. He was supposed to wear this hat, but he picked it right, so he's not going to wear it this week.
Yeah, so I picked the 49ers. I told y'all I wasn't going to doubt the 49ers also. No need for that. But this was a great game, and it very well could be the NFC Championship game that we just watched. And like both of y'all said, the coaching. The coaching makes such a big difference when it comes to talent and the team putting it together. It's always weird when you see two teams like this come up against each other and you know that they have these great defenses, but it just goes out the window and offense just takes over.
Yeah.
So and it's not a shot to either one of the defenses. It's just how it happens to how it happens to play out. So again, great game. Garoppolo. when it came down and he had to make that drive, y'all.
Slapping that
I know.
court.
When it came down and it was like, okay, San Francisco has to get in the field goal range. That's what I wanted to see, because that told us right there whether or not Garoppolo truly was that weakness of that team.
He truly had
And
time management and did it.
He
did a great
did.
job.
He perfectly executed that 2-minute drive to get them in the field goal range, and it was beautiful. So yeah, I picked it right, so I won't be wearing that.
Another thing about Jimmy G, Belichick really wanted to get rid of Brady and keep Jimmy G.
I
I heard something about that
Yeah,
too.
it was a big to do about that.
And now we're starting to see why.
Yeah, because matter of fact, the owner had to get involved with that to
Yeah,
made
do
that
the
crap.
trick.
happen.
Yeah. So since we were just talking about the Patriots, we're going to get into some of our hot topics.
Let's go over the numbers for last
Well,
week.
we don't really need. Okay, I was 1-4.
God, we're for real.
Yes.
Whoa.
2-3.
2-3.
And 3-2 because I lone wolfed the one game that they all got wrong. So.
Y'all jumping down my neck like 'cause I was 1-4. You only had one other game, and that was because y'all picked the Bears. Okay. So, like I said, we're gonna get into these hot topics. The first one we want to talk about is probably the hottest topic that's going on in the NFL right now, and that's this Patriots cheating scandal. Apparently, there was a crew from the Patriots that was at the Browns-Bengals game last week, and apparently they were filming for a documentary. Well, when they were approached by the Bengals, they were found out that they had been taping the Bengals sidelines for about 8 minutes straight. There was a question about why they were doing it. From what I was heard through my sources, the gentleman that was doing the filming, I got sources. The guy that was doing the filming, when they asked him, "Hey, what are you doing?" He said, "Hey, man, I'm sorry. You think we can just erase this and act like it never happened?" Which is very, very suspicious. Patriots say that they are guilty, but they had absolutely nothing to do with that. It was just a documentary. There was no reason to try to gain any type of competitive advantage because the Patriots do play the Bengals this week coming up. Of course, we all know that the Patriots are known for Spygate and Deflategate and any type of gate you want to name. So, with Spygate, if everybody I don't know remembers, they were like keeping files on teams, like a lot thick files. So the fact that they did this in the past and now this is all coming up makes it look really, really suspicious. How do you think about it?
That's way too much of a coincidence.
Yeah.
That's just it. No, the team they're getting ready to play, that's way too much of a coincidence.
And it's funny because they were in Cleveland, but they're filming the Bengals.
Yeah, like come on, man.
This is Spygate 2, and it's definitely what I found out. What was kind of strange here too is that these gentlemen were not employed by the Patriots. They were employed by an outside source that got these guys. So it's almost like so it's not like they were not tied in together.
But they were saying
this was crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
But two of them were supposed to be, hired in.
And if you're doing a documentary, why do you need to keep it on 8 minutes long on just the offense?
Yeah.
On the coach, why?
And they were saying well, who cares? The Patriots are going to probably smash Cincinnati. Why would Belichick even want to do this? But they're not going to always be bad. And this is information that they could use down the line of ways. Maybe, in 2023, 2024, maybe the Bengals are good. Maybe there's something because they was talking about in the Super Bowl that they caught Belichick on the sideline yelling, "Where's McVay? Where's McVay?" And the reason why he wanted to know where McVay was because McVay had a tendency that when they went to punt, if they were going to actually punt, he was talking to Jared Goff. If they were going to fake it, he was talking to the special teams coach. So he wanted to know. He's screaming, "Where's McVay? Where's McVay?" So we all know Belichick is a genius.
He studies.
Okay?
He studies.
If this is doing it, he has a legitimate reason on why it's being done. Now, the fact that he get caught, he may not be as smart as we think, but it is definitely very, very fishy.
Well, the crazy thing is, it was never proven, but both the Rams and the Panthers claimed that they were they were being videotaped. The calls were being videotaped by the Patriots the years they won the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
So at this point, where there's smoke, there's fire. It's happening too many. It's happening too many times. We got, like you said, we got too many damn gates.
Yeah.
And I don't. I believe that Belichick is just trying to get every advantage he can to try to win these games. It just, but you keep getting caught. It might be time just to give it up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, stop trying so hard.
I don't know.
They're
6
probably
Super
not
Bowls.
the
I
only
think I
ones
keep trying.
doing it.
They're
They're
not.
just
They're-
bad.
They're
They're
just
just lately
But that's
they've
the other
gotten
thing
bad
that
at
people
it.
were bringing up. Why do you never hear about it from other teams?
Because
though?
they're probably just being slicker about it too.
I guess
Like,
but it's like
Being that slick, but nobody ever gets caught except the Patriots. Come on.
That's all you seem to hear about. Who else have you heard about in the last
well, they're
5-6
they're
years?
super on the radar for it right
Sure,
now.
but I
You've
mean,
never
but just
heard
something
anybody.
like
Maybe
the
they use-
Chargers got caught, tampering or something.
But
It's
see, maybe they
always
use
the
different
Patriots.
maybe they use different methods. You know what I
Maybe.
mean? They can be
Maybe.
using different methods. I don't know.
So just real quick though, what do you guys think if they are found guilty of this? What type of punishment should the NFL give them?
they're not gonna. It's gonna
They're
be
not going to get punished.
on the wrist.
You don't think they're going to get punished?
No, probably not.
Probably not.
If anything, won't they lose draft choices or something?
That's what I think they lost last time. They lost their first round draft choice.
Yeah,
And got
they were
fined
fined
pretty
like
bad.
$500,000 or $1 million or something like that.
All right, so we're going to keep these hot topics rolling, and we're going to roll into another hot topic about the Patriots. There was a game last week against the Kansas City Chiefs in which Patrick Mahomes' girlfriend and Patrick Mahomes' brother were sitting in the stands and were apparently harassed to no end by Patriots fans as soon as they sat down. It actually ended up getting so bad that apparently they were escorted to a different part of the field, so they could enjoy the rest of the game. The girlfriend was saying that she couldn't stand up to watch the game, which is very odd. If you've been to an NFL game, most people stand up to watch the game. It's rare that you sit down the whole time. But apparently every time she stood up, she was harassed to watch the game by the fans. So we want to just know, do you think that this is over the top out of Patriots fan? Is this just fair play? How should this go with that?
I mean, I guess what was being said, we don't really know how much harassment they were getting, I guess. But usually players sit in the family section where they don't have to worry about that stuff, I thought. So,
Why is she not sitting in a booth or something?
yeah, I mean, there's usually a family section, though. Like, it's not even necessarily a suite.
But like they
There's
put a
usually
lot of them
family
there.
area.
Yeah.
So the question is, why wasn't she in that area? But as long as it's just fun and games. But if it got to the point where they couldn't enjoy the game, then I think the Patriots did the right thing. They had to pretty much do what they did because they already get so much flack for everything else, like we just talked about. So they did the right thing by moving her. But my opinion is you make sure that doesn't happen on your end. Like if that if I'm the football player, I'm making sure that my family's safe around where they need to be.
Unfortunately, it happens. It happens in a lot of games sometimes. It was just luckily that the security was alert enough to notice that something was going on that was unusual. Because I don't think nobody told them. They saw this stuff on camera and they went down and got them out. I thought the funniest thing to me was she actually tweeted about the whole thing, and afterwards she made a comment about the fans in New England saying that you guys act like this and you guys got 6 Super Bowls. And here's the thing. Mahomes is 24 and Brady is 42. Let's see what happens when he's in the league as long as Brady and see what happens now. So she made a comment with that. So I thought that was a little dab at it. So this might come back to either hurt them in the future, or it may be something said about that later on down the line. But
I just find it odd that she's not sitting in a suite or something because you looked at this what was it, the Giants and the Eagles Monday night game, like the whole Manning family was there, but they were all in the booth. I understand.
Yeah,
I'm saying, but Mahomes. I'm saying Mahomes. You an MVP. You can't get your family in the booth.
Maybe not in the visiting stand.
Right. I think that I think could have been.
Like I said, again, there's usually a family section for those families that travel with the team. So it is weird.
And it's not like that she's probably the first girlfriend or wife to go to Patriots. So
It's just weird.
It's just very, very odd. And it's another tidbit on that note. You know that that he was the first quarterback under 25, or the youngest. He's the youngest quarterback to beat.
No, you're right. No, you're right.
Under 25,
Under 25.
to beat the Patriots at home, and they broke that winning streak that the
It was like
Patriots had.
23 games, or something like that.
So the next thing we're going to have to talk about is another quarterback in the AFC who just can't seem to not say the right thing, and that's Mr. Baker Mayfield. Having a conversation with reporters about another player's injury, OBJ, who has a
Sports
hernia, and has been playing with it all season long. Was talking to the reporters and basically put the staff, the medical staff for the Cleveland Browns under the bus. Mark, give him a little more detail.
He commented about Odell Beckham and his injury, that he's been out there playing with this injury all season long. But I mean, it goes back to the old saying: you don't talk about another man's money. You don't talk about his injuries. You sure enough don't throw your doctors and your staff on the bus. So this is another immature comment for him to make about his staff, his team. He can't. If you the franchise, if you the quarterback for this team, you can't have your franchise quarterback throwing them under the bus like this.
How did this come up?
He was talking about OBJ's injury and how he, I guess, hasn't been as successful this year. He was trying to defend.
When he asked a question about it,
the question
was asked about OJ.
But I thought the question was more about OBJ's injury.
Well, yeah.
And then he just kind of
went
on a ramble about how it was all, it was the beginning of the season, how, they should have did a better job
he
of
gave
it.
way more details than what we already knew.
But basically he was trying to defend OBJ's play this year because, he's saying he's having this sports hernia.
Yeah, he just needs to learn to just shut up.
Yeah.
Like, I feel for Cleveland because you finally might have a quarterback with some talent, but he's going to run you in the ground because his mouth, it's his mouth. I don't want to go play with this guy. That's what you're going to get. Talent that's not going to want to go play with him. So, there's all this talk OBJ wants out now.
Yeah. That's a whole another hot topic that we're probably going to get to.
In his defense, OBJ has been model citizen this year.
Kind of, but you heard the rumor, right?
Yeah, but
he's been saying
you're hearing that
rumor.
He's going to different teams after they play. I'm saying, come get me, come get me after.
But he's not
season.
blowing up on the sideline. He's not doing his normal.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not beating up fans and stuff.
Yeah, the only big thing he had was just the dress code, wearing these watches and
and
I guess these face masks and stuff. But all that stopped. Yeah, he's been pretty quiet
because he knows he wants to go play somewhere else and he wants to show them that I can be a model citizen. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Baker Mayfield. I guess the Browns. Is Bernie Kosar still alive?
Yes.
Somebody needs to put this kid under their wing and say, "Yo, STFU, okay? Just play football." Seriously, somebody needs to talk to him because he's going to ruin his own career that hasn't even really gotten started yet off his mouth.
So the last hot topic I got is a little surprise for y'all. We found out this week that Darius Geis, the Washington Redskins running back, injured his leg after one play last week. Turns out he is going to IR for the third time. So yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
So that I'm not sure. But the question I wanted to pose to you guys: do you think that this is just some freak accidents, or is this kid actually snake bitten?
He's snake bitten.
Yeah, I think he might be.
This dude cannot. He didn't stay healthy through college either. He was at LSU. He couldn't stay healthy then. I just think he just got the worst luck with injuries.
He might need a full year. You probably shouldn't even have brought him back this year. Because he got hurt at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So
it was preseason. It was preseason.
And he healed fast, but knowing his history and where your team was, why not just go ahead and shut him down for the year? He's a running back, so experience. You can't say, well, you need the experience, you need the stats. Because running backs don't necessarily need that. It's blitz pickup. You got to get that down. But just to run the ball. But knowing his history, it seemed to me like you might have wanted to just shut that down and say, let's give him a full, complete year to recover. We will slowly work him back in next year. You got Haskins that you're trying to bring up, and he looked hurt. They say he was limping around. I didn't watch the game. They say he was limping around too.
Was he limping around, Marcus?
I didn't watch the game.
But they said that he looked, well, they were talking about it on the radio. They said he was out there limping around, and they thought he should have been out the game too.
Yeah, well, he had heard. Now, was it this game or the game before where he had hurt his ankle, and it was a big hubbub about him still playing, and they should have put in the backup. Was that this game?
Well, he played this game kind of hurt, I think.
Okay.
So he might have been for injury from the previous game, but I mean,
are we boring you, Marcus?
You might
no.
Oh, okay.
you might see guys get cut from the Skins. He'd be one of those ones that takes a year off or something, gets completely healthy, and he could come back and have a good year.
What was that linebacker they used to play? I think, did he play for the Rams? Had like 2 knee surgeries and.
Are you talking about Davis?
Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe he'll have a
Carolina
like that. It was Carolina.
It was Carolina.
Yeah, it was Carolina. It had like some real bad start, a lot of major injuries, but ended up having a pretty long, successful NFL career. So Godspeed to you guys. All right, so we're going to move on. We're going to get these new picks for this new week coming up. We got a lot of good games, a lot of tough games. We might get some lone wolves tonight. So if we do get some lone wolves, just remember to tune in next week, because if you lone wolf and you pick the game wrong, you wear this dunce hat for that time while we have a conversation about it.
If you're one of them.
Yeah, if you have one. I've worn it once. Marcus has worn it once.
I don't wear it.
Mark's worn it once. Herman will wear it as soon as he stops.
We're going to get him before this shows up.
So the first game we got going on, I don't think we're going to have a lone wolf, but we got the New York Jets going against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore on Thursday night. Like Marcus was saying, the Ravens quarterback has a quad injury, but is supposed to start. You got the number 2 offense and the number 6 defense in the Ravens, with the number 1 rushing offense against the Jets. The other injury note on this particular game is that the safety for the Jets, Adams, is supposed to be a game-time decision with I think an ankle injury.
Yeah, he didn't play last game.
So if he doesn't play, that makes it even worse. They do have the number 2 rushing defense, the Jets, only giving up about 78 yards a game. And the Jets have won the last 4 out of their 5 games. So, Marcus, who do you think is going to win this match?
Ravens, of course. I'm on the Ravens bandwagon. They're gonna win 10 in a row. I think this might be a blowout. I don't see the Jets hanging in there with the Ravens. It's gonna be a time possession game. Defense is gonna get some picks, some turnovers. I'm predicting this might be a blowout. Picking the Ravens.
Mark.
The Ravens have rushed for 100 yards in every single game this year. Just combined between the running back and Lamar Jackson. The Jets' offensive line has not been good all year long. With that, I'm not taking the Jets. I'm taking the Ravens.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. And in this one, I think that Darnold might see ghosts again like he did with the Patriots. I just can't see them with the firepower to keep up with that Ravens offense. I think eventually, with the way that the Ravens run, they're going to wear their defense down. They're going to put points on the board, because the Ravens don't kick field goals much. They pretty much score touchdowns. So it's a pretty much
only game-winning field goals.
Yeah, only game-winning field goals. And that's just more because time's running out. They have more time. They probably can run down the bear. So, Chelly, you're right. The Ravens will win. Herman.
Is Le'Veon Bell playing in this game?
I don't think so.
Because that's a topic we didn't talk about. Y'all heard about that?
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell missed practice Thursday and Friday of last week, I guess.
Right. He had a flu.
He had the flu, but he was bowling on Saturday.
Yeah.
So he didn't play last week. I don't know. I don't know if he's playing this week, but it doesn't matter. I'm picking the Ravens. I agree with Marcus. I think this will be a blowout.
Yeah. I think we'll all be asleep by halftime.
Yeah. I don't expect game at all. So we got in the chat that picked Marcus.
Corey picks the Ravens. Says Ravens for the win.
Of course he does.
Fifth Beatle I don't know where he went to.
He disappeared. All right, so we're going to keep it moving. We're going to talk about the Sunday night game, which this game actually got flexed to Sunday night.
Didn't it?
This is the Buffalo Bills against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Buffalo Bills are 9-4. The Steelers are 8-5. Vegas is making the Steelers give up 2.5 points for this game, probably because of the home field advantage. You got the Steelers with the number 5 defense against the Bills with the number 2 defense. Buffalo also has the number 5 rush offense. You got Watt playing for the Steelers, who's number 5 in sacks. Number 5, yeah. And then Fitzpatrick is actually tied for number 1 with 5 interceptions, the safety for the Steelers. So this is definitely like it's going to come down to a defensive game. So it's more or less, who do you trust offensively? Do you think that Josh Allen is the better guy, or are you trying to do the Duck Dynasty thing? We're going to let Herman start this one off.
I'm going with the Bills. After watching the Bills and Ravens game last week, it was a good game. Like you said, the Bills were in that game. Steelers being down to their is either third string or fourth string quarterback now. It's going to be a tough game because it's at home with the Steelers. But I feel like Josh Allen is going to outplay the Duck, whatever his name is.
Devlin Hodges.
Yeah. Bills have a good defense. I'm going with the Bills.
All right, Sleepy McHenry. Okay. Who do you got?
Sleepy.
Do we need to start the show earlier?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Take a nap for ways.
Technically, I think the Bills should win this game, but I'm going to pick the Steelers because I have their defense in my fantasy league, and I need them to do good so I can win, so I can make it to the Super Bowl. Not the Super Bowl. Yeah, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it'll be the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it'll be Super Bowl. So I'm picking the Steelers just off that alone.
But you've never made it to.
I have made it.
He made it. He haven't won it.
I have won it.
My bad.
All right, so since y'all are talking, Mark, go ahead and tell us your pick.
Devlin Duck Hodges. He's 3-0 as a starter for this team. The Steelers playing old school football right now. They're getting Juju back, and they also may have Connor back.
Connor practiced all day. Full practice.
Steelers right now are just finding a way to win. I think Josh Allen, if he can play much like he played in Dallas, it's gonna be a tough one. But I'm taking the Steelers on this one all the way. Go Steelers. Go Duck Dynasty.
So we got 2 of our custom people in the chat room. The Fifth Beetle and Corey are also both going with the Steelers. I disagree with those 2. I agree with Herman. I think that the Buffalo Bills are hungry. They've played a lot of tough games. It does basically come down to, do you trust Duck Dynasty? And Duck has been playing good, but I just think that the Bills have enough offense, and with the way that defense is playing, that they're going to come home with that W. Also, these 2 teams are playing for the they're 2 spots. They're 5 and 6, so they do need to keep winning in order to keep that spot. All right, so the next game we're going to talk about is the Indianapolis Colts, who are 6-7 against the 10-3 Saints. The Saints are giving up 9.5 because you're playing down in the dome. The Saints still have the number 1 wide receiver in the league, and Michael Thomas, with 1,424 yards. They also have a defensive end named Jordan, who has number 3 in sacks with 13.5. The Saints' total defense is 13th ranked right now. You got the Colts, who are 6th in rushing. They did finally get their running back, Mack, back, who had hurt his hand, came back last week. This will be probably a better game for him. And the Colts are 15th in total defense. So, Mark, who do you think is going to win this one?
And this one, despite Mack coming back, but I think the Colts are depleted, man. They're down to a lot of their backups in this particular game. Their firepower doesn't seem to be quite as explosive as the Saints. The Saints just need to find a way to get Alvin Kamara implemented into this offense. But I'm taking the Saints on this one.
Marcus?
Speaking of Kamara, he hasn't been doing much this
Nah. I got him on my fantasy, man. He did nothing.
Actually, his backup is actually Lamar. He's actually running a little better.
Latavius Murray.
Latavius Murray.
Sorry.
Well, first of all, the Colts are not the 49ers. I don't see the Saints losing 2 times in a row at home. the Colts are not going to come in there and do and replicate what the 49ers did, put up all them points. I'm picking the Saints.
Herman.
Yeah, I'm going with the Saints too. This is just a bad time for the Colts to have to go to New Orleans and play in that dome right after that loss. The Saints, this might not even be close. And the Colts are actually pretty good. I mean, pretty decent, but yeah, this I don't see this one being that close.
So, C. Wells, he also is saying, "Who dat nation?" I can't disagree with none of y'all guys' points. I definitely think this will be a Saints victory. I don't think it'll be tough. Like Mark's saying, that the Colts offense is depleted. The defense is good, but it's not going to be able to slow down Michael Thomas. I haven't seen anybody slow down Michael Thomas all season long. He's actually on point to set some type of record for like catches or yards or receptions in a season. So the Saints will win this one hands down. So the next one we're going to try to talk about are the Texans and the Titans. Now they're both 8-5. Both of them vying for the NFC South title. The Titans are giving up 3 points on this particular game by Vegas standards. They got the number 8 rushing offense. Tannehill is 6-1 as a starter. Henry is the number 2 rusher in the league right now with 1,243 yards. You got the Texans with the number 7 rushing offense. Watson has the most rushing touchdowns in Texans history for a season, not completely, but just for a season. In this particular game, it's going to be a good one. Herman, who do you think?
Man, I'm still deciding on this one. You know what? I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going with the Titans. Derrick Henry running the football.
Now, there were reports that he was
and that's what I'm wondering. Is he hurt? See, that's why I'm scared.
He was hampered by the hamstring.
He's hampered by it. But
they said it was just like a day. They gave him the day off, but it was just like a
day-to-day type thing.
Just to give him a rest day.
Okay.
You know,
I'm going with the Titans.
No management. That's what I was.
The Titans have been looking good. I've been catching glimpses of their games. Derrick Henry, man, don't nobody want to tackle that dude. They do not want for real. They don't, man. They don't want that smoke. That dude's like a linebacker running the football. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna roll with the Titans. Because the Texans, they just got blown up by the Denver
Broncos. Yeah.
And that was on the road too,
with
right?
a rookie quarterback. Yeah. Started with his second. Was that his first or second start?
That was his second.
Second start.
And they've anointed him off of that game too. Yep. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Titans.
Drew Lock. Yeah, Herman. This game is kind of tough, and when you look at it on paper, you know it should be the Texans. The Texans have the better offense. They got the better quarterback. They got the better wide receiver. They got a good running game. Their defense is but the Titans, like you said, I mean, when you watch the Titans are a good team, well coached, and they do what they got to do. I mean, the stats aren't staggering. It's not, bombs down the air, but they just do enough to get the wins. The game they were in last week, I think it was like 17-17. They ended up beating them like 40 to something. I mean, it was just they just kept doing what they had to do, and the other team was the Colts.
Yeah,
it was the Colts.
And the Colts just couldn't keep up scoring. I really want to pick the Titans, but I'm just nervous. I think the Texans are just a better team. I'm going to ride with the Texans. Marcus?
Like you guys have said, to me this is hard to pick. If you had asked me to pick this game at the beginning of the season, I'd have been like Texans all the way. No way the Titans win this game. But like you said, the Titans are a pretty damn good team. Like you said, well coached. They're in a place I didn't think they'd be this year. And the Texans kind of have me worried. And for one reason only, coaching. Bill O'Brien is garbage. The Texans should be...
I like Bill O'Brien.
Maybe as a coordinator, but...
He is kind of right. It's more the Deshaun Watson overcoming...
It's something in Texas and coaches these days. I don't.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. Like I said, I want to pick the Texans, and I feel like they need this game to stay in contention.
They absolutely need this game. Both of them need this game.
Yeah, but I think I might have to go with the Titans, and I hate doing that because I'm a Deshaun Watson fanboy, but I might have to go with the Titans.
Mark.
Yeah, this one of this game was going to take sole possession of the AFC South. They play this week skip a week, and they play again the following week after. This is game. Titans has been on a 4-game winning streak. They won the last 6 games out of 7. Is that right? Yeah, they won the last 6 games out of 7. Believe it or not. The Titans are two. I mean, the Texans are 2 up and down right now. I don't know which team is coming to play on this one. With that, I'm gonna take the Titans. Take Titans and be victorious on this one.
Oh! So if the Texans let me down, I will be wearing that Dunce hat next week. C. Wells is riding with me. He's going with the Texans, but unfortunately, that doesn't help me if they go.
What you gonna do? You get him to wear the Dunce hat?
Yeah. Maybe we'll have a special guest. Have him come over and wear the Dunce hat with me. All right, so the last game we're going to have a conversation about is the Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers. This is the most historic franchises in the NFL. They've played the most games against each other in NFL history. The Bears are 7-6. The Packers are 10-3. The Packers are giving up 4.5 because you're going down to Lambeau. You got the number 10th ranked defense in the Chicago Bears. The Bears are quiet as kept on a 3-game win streak. The Packers have Martinez, who's a linebacker who is tied in the NFL for number 1 with 129 sacks. The Packers are on a small 2-game win streak. They beat up on that Washington team last week. On this particular one, it's pretty simple to me. I think the Packers are the better squad. They played earlier this season, and the Packers' offense was terrible, but they've had a lot more longer time to play and get together and get it under control. I think the Packers are going to win this one. Herman?
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Packers. The Bears look good on Thursday night, but that's not saying anything. Everybody looks good against that team that they played on Thursday night. Aaron Rodgers has gotten his groove. Like you said, Brian, their offense was really bad that first game. It's a totally different offense, it looks like now. Running back Jamal Adams. I mean, the offense really revolves around him. It kind of goes through him now, even though they got Aaron Rodgers. So,
and Aaron Jones too.
Aaron Jones is on that. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Packers.
Marcus.
Yeah, I'm about to go with the Packers too. On paper and in real life, they're a much better team than the Bears. They beat them early this year. They're gonna beat them again. It's gonna be a sweep. I'm going with the Packers.
Mark.
Trubisky, he's going to have to step up his game for sure in this one. The Browns are 4-0 in games where Trubisky his passing rating has been over 100 or more. The Packers, they're good when their offense runs through Aaron Jones, to be honest with you. I think they can run on them. I'm going to take the Packers in this one.
Oh, and about Mr. Wells coming on the show, he said no. He said something, but I can't say it. So. But he's also going with the Packers, so it's a clean sweep on the Packers. All right, so we have finished another show. We appreciate you guys joining us. We hope you enjoyed yourself. Feel free to comment and get into the chat room. We'd love to converse with you guys and see what you got to say. Shout out to the Twins for watching the show. Make sure you show everybody at the work.
The Twins got a name?
Well, yes. But I don't want to say them because it's Javier and Dennis. Marcus, get us out of here.
Before we leave, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Help us get those likes up. Also, don't forget to check us out on Twitter at the Live Game 3. We see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.
Hey, we didn't say good morning and good evening to the show.
No, I left it out.
Marcus, you let that slide.
We still on, right?
Yeah, no.
All right. We
get it to look a lot like.
I'm not.